Alright, it's been a minute since I've done a video, and I can honestly say that I've been a bit busy. Now, if you are a frequent of my channel, you've seen my content, you know what I do, then you've definitely seen a very particular shape displayed all across my channel in countless videos and shorts and everything, and that would be this. This is my Hondo Fame 871. Now, I've gotten a lot of comments, a lot of people asking, is that a Randy Rhoads V? Is that a Randy Rhoads V? Is it a Jackson specifically? You know, and I would always say, nah, it's not. It's a Hondo Fame 871. You can even see it on the headstock. So I would always just correct people in the moment, because it's like, you know, there was no like Jackson Randy Rhoads V bass that didn't exist, you know. And I would always have to correct people, and I feel like there was always like an interest in having one, because it's like, you know, this is a really cool shape, like arguably one of the best shapes in all guitardom. And you know, I understand it, because I've been a fan of this shape since I saw it originally in the Hand of Blood music video by Both on Valentine, and I absolutely loved it. Like, you know, I remember falling in love with the shape, watching them play live, and like I attributed this shape with that band because of it, because that was my gateway band. This was the first extreme guitar shape I ever saw in my life, so it kind of captivated me in that moment. And I was so enamored with this that I begged my mom for, sorry for hitting the thing, I begged my mom to get me the Matt Tuck signature at the time, and you know, she was with it until she heard the price, and she was just like, nigga, no. Like, I'm not buying that. You know, $1,300 for a guitar, and you don't even play an instrument. Like, you want to learn to play an instrument on $1,300 guitar? That ain't happening, Captain. So I kind of just let it go, and I got this in my adult life, and this has been my baby ever since. But I've always wanted one that said Jackson on the headstock. Like, right there, I've always wanted to say Jackson. Just because Jackson is my favorite guitar brand, you know, it's the brand I love the most. And, you know, it was never an option unless I went the custom shop route, and I ain't got $6K to just drop on a guitar, bro. It's not the life I live, you know. I work for a blood bank, make decent money, but I don't make money like that, bro. And for a long time, it was like a proverbial white whale. Even was willing to settle for like the Fernandez JSB 75. But in the big 2026, Jackson surprised us. This is the Jackson RRB, and man, this thing is beautiful, and it's almost everything I ever wanted. And I can definitely say with like my heart, as somebody that's now holding like their white whale guitar, I like it. As I said, this is the Jackson RRB. It comes with a maple neck, amaranth fretboard, but doesn't look like amaranth. Like my I think my David Ellefson signature bass, that's also amaranth, but this looks way darker. This looks more chocolatey, like me in the summertime, like at the end of summer, you know. Like it don't look it doesn't look like lighter like amaranth usually does. It looks more rosewoody, but that's fine. Nickel silver frets, neck through construction, popular body, which would just be the wings. The wings would be popular. White binding on the headstock, and it comes with Jackson tuners, Jackson diecast black tuners, and Jackson diecast bridge, single EMG pickup, and can definitely say the specs they're good, but they're not what I would like for them to be, at least for what they're trying to sell this as. So pros out of the way, I think this thing is way more comfortable to sit than my Hondo. Like the curve right here just fits your leg so much better. But unfortunately, this curve and the comfortability of like sitting and playing with it is ruined by one decision that somebody at Jackson decided to make, but we'll get there. It has the Jackson specific neck, the 12 to 16 compound radius, where it's more round at the top and it flattens up as the higher you get on the neck, which makes, you know, things a lot simpler and easier to play in terms of like lead work. Yeah, my hair is dripping. I just got out the shower. Y'all gonna have to deal with it. And can definitely say the neck is my favorite part of this. I think Jackson just has one of the best necks ever. It's like the perfect D shape, where it's not completely like flat like Gibson does theirs, but it has like a bit of a curve to it. And with the compound radius, it just makes this thing so easy to play, you know. Then again, D-shaped necks are my favorite just because I find them the most comfortable. C-shaped, some can like hurt my hand here because they're like that curve on the back is just too much, you know, at least for how I like play and stuff. You could label as bad technique or skill issue, but these work for me, those so. I also think that it sounds really good. I think the EMG they chose, I'm not too sure. I think it's like a DCX or something. It sounds pretty good. It doesn't sound as brittle and thin as EMGs tend to sound. I actually think it sounded pretty good. I was originally gonna swap it for a Fishman, but I didn't really feel the need to after I like played around with it for a little bit. You know, like this thing has been fun to play. I wouldn't say it's like one of my better favorite instruments, like top 5, but I do like it. You know, I like playing it, at least acoustically. here's where we get to the negative, and I have to say, off rip, this is the worst. This input jack placement is terrible. Whoever put this here genuinely hates you and wants you to suffer, because that cable, you know, it's either going to hit you in the balls, it's going to dig into your leg if you're sitting like this, because it's a V. You can't play it like this, like it. You have to play it classical. So that cable is just going to dig into your thigh, and it's going to be terrible, and you can break your input jack because of it, you know. And if you got the bread, I would just say just go to a luthier, have them move it. You know, like if you're already buying this as like a husk and you're gonna move stuff around, consider moving the jack. Some people will say for the price for this, you shouldn't be getting nickel silver frets. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care. Like, you know, if the frets wear out, the frets wear out. I'll take it and get it refretted. You know, that's not like a it's not a constant, you know. It's not like, I don't think I'm gonna have this thing refretted for at least like 5-6 years. You know, multiple instruments. I play multiple instruments. I'm not worried about wearing the frets out on this as of yet. But I do agree that once you start hitting that $800, $900 mark, stainless steel frets just needs to be kind of guaranteed. You know, that and strap locks. I just don't see a point in cheaping out on the fret material. Another thing is the appointments, like the bridge and the tuners. You know, this comes with Jackson specific branded bridge and tuners, which aren't bad, but once again, for $800, $900, you should be getting something better than Jackson branded appointments. You know, like I swapped the bridge out for a Godo. I put Geiger tuners on there, plus the black and gold aesthetic does look better. You know, and that's just how it sounds. And some people will say, you have a lot of complaints, you don't seem to like a lot of things about this, why do you own it? And that's the crux of my argument. I did not pay full retail for this. You know, I had gotten gift cards from my family for Christmas. My job gave me a gift card when I got onboarded for Christmas. So I had, you know, some, extra money to take some of the price off. And then on top of that, I bought a floor model at Guitar Center. So that already came with a little bit off, because it has like a ding right there on the wing. So they gave me like, what was it, like 10-15% off. So I saved a good amount. Like, in all honesty, cash, probably paid like $450. Shake that. It's not bad. You know, that's why it's like I don't really care. You know, and I do like playing. Like, I recorded some content of me standing and playing at a studio, and it was fun to play. It didn't bother me. It's just the jack placement only bothers me. And I swapped out the hardware, because even with buying the additional hardware, it was still dramatically cheaper than what I paid for the instrument. So I'm not like perturbed by it, you know. For me, it's more of just how the everything tended to work out, you know. But I could definitely say, like, if you're interested in this, it's not bad. It's definitely a good instrument. You definitely can like make a name for yourself with it. They picked a beautiful finish, the black white. You know, if you throw gold on there, it looks better. Granted, if the fretboard was empty, it would look a lot better too. But that's neither here nor there. And that's just that. You know, I could definitely say good instrument, good template for you to kind of make it your own. Even if you want to sand it down and refinish it, and you're like a bass player and you like the Randy Rhoads shape, like, you got a husk. You know, you could even buy, like, there's like a cheaper one for like $369. Comes with 2 pickups instead of just the one. You just don't get like the classic Jackson finish, you know, the pinstripes and stuff. And you could make that your own. You could refinish it. If you know how to finish guitars, or you know a guy that does, like, that's also an option. But solid instrument. I'm just hoping Jackson does better if they do this again. You know, like, they're kind of like forcing you to go to Guitar Center because it's exclusive to Guitar Center. You can't get it from Sweetwater or even them directly. So you would expect there to be like something about it that's like way better than what it is. But that's enough of me yapping. Y'all have a good one. Take care. And also, before you go, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the buttons, you know, the hype button, all that good stuff. Thanks out.